What's up guys, Coach As here. Today I want to give you 3 tips for developing your lead leg kick. Now in particular, what we're going to look at today is the chamber position. If you've trained karate, taekwondo, freestyle kickboxing, you probably hear a lot about the chamber. The chamber is that raised knee position before we execute the kick. And from a sideways on stance, if you've got a good amount of flexibility, you can use this chamber to throw a roundhouse kick, a side kick, hook kick, even an axe kick. Having a solid, strong chamber will allow you to have a good foundation and a good base to then develop powerful, fast, effective kicks. A lot of focus is put on improving flexibility when trying to develop your kicks, and this is obviously a huge part of it. But the other thing is developing strength in the right areas, in the right muscles, so that we can lift that leg easily. The way I like to think of it is, if you extend your arm out like this, like you would to throw a punch, this is relatively easy for you. You can do this for a relatively long amount of time. However, if I asked you to do the same with your leg, lift your leg up and extend it out to body height like you were throwing a kick, you'll find that you can't last anywhere near as long when keeping your leg extended out. Not only are your legs far heavier than your arms, but when we look at the muscle groups that are actually in work to hold it up and keep it extended, these tend to be the smaller muscles, the hip flexors that come in and around at the front of our hips. So you've got small muscles at work trying to hold up big muscles and a lot of weight. And this is why for the vast majority of people, kicking doesn't come naturally. Mechanically, it requires a lot of work to be able to build the dexterity and the strength in our legs to be able to kick like this. So today, to help you out with this, I'm going to give you 3 drills that you can work and incorporate into your training to help develop this strength in this lead leg chamber. For these drills, you're going to need a wall or a solid surface that you can lean on. The idea being that we want to take balance out of the equation. I don't want you focusing on how to stand on one leg whilst trying to build strength and trying to work on technique. These drills are specifically designed to build strength, so that's what we want to put the focus on. Drill number 1, we're going to work some chamber raises. Think of this similar to how you would do a bicep curl. So I want one hand on the wall, I want you to stand in your stance, and I want you to lift and raise that lead leg chamber as high as you can and then down as low as you can without touching your foot to the floor. The reason we're not touching our foot to the floor is I want to keep the tension on those muscles. I want to keep them working from start to finish. They'll still get some relief as you go down, but I don't want you to fully stop on the floor and restart on the way up. Now, when it comes to building strength in these areas, time under tension is key. You might feel tempted to do this in an explosive fashion, but I actually want you to go real slow and keep it really controlled. An important technical point is to ensure that your knee is above your toe. We don't want to over rotate so that our foot is higher than our knee. That's going to mean that our glutes are starting to take over. This is something very typical for people with weak hip flexors. They will turn their hips over so that instead of lifting with their hips, they're now lifting with their stronger and bigger glute muscles. But of course, this is going to compromise your kicking technique. Okay, so that's our chamber strengthening done. But what about when we fully extend the leg? Go back to that example I gave you of extending out your arm. We really want to ensure that we've got strength at the furthest point of the kick. So similar to the first drill, but this time I want you to extend the leg out. So we're going to come up slow in the chamber. We're going to extend the leg out slow to that maximum point. Think of a side kick or a roundhouse kick. Re-chamber and lower the leg. And that's 1 rep. Up, extend out, retract in, lower, reset. And again, not touching the foot to the floor when we go down to the bottom part of that movement. Now, to increase the intensity on this exercise, what you can do is increase the amount of time you spend at the extended position. So for example, you might count 1 second up, 1 second to extend out, and then a 2-second hold before 1 second to retract and 1 second to lower the leg. And you can increase those intervals to make it more difficult and increase the time under tension at different positions within the drill. This last drill is where we're going to bring the explosiveness back into things. I like to call this one the machine gun kick. So now I want you to raise that chamber up and again choose either a side kick or a roundhouse kick, and I want you to simply pump that kick out again and again. So we're really going for high reps, high speed now, and high power. The difference between this drill and the other two is we're maintaining that chambers position the whole time. We're keeping that knee elevated. You can see here I'm going to use my hand to measure the height of my knee and try to maintain that height throughout the kicks. Be strict with yourself and ensure that you're fully retracting the kick and fully extending at the end of it. This one's going to burn, so I often recommend that you save this one for last because this one's going to really take it out of you. In terms of reps and sets for these drills, this is what I want you to do. Set yourself a 30-second timer. You're going to work the drill on one leg for 30 seconds, rest for 30, and then do the other leg. You can rinse and repeat this for 3 to 5 sets, depending on your level, depending on how quickly you feel your legs fatigue. You know you're done when you're struggling to raise your knee to the height that you were raising it in the first and second round. This is quite an intense and focused workout, so I would include it in your training a maximum of 3 times a week. If you're a beginner with stuff like this, start with 2 so that you don't burn yourself out or overtrain. You can still kick and work the heavy bag and work sparring and all the rest of it for the rest of the week, but a specific workout like this, you don't want to be overdoing it. Whilst working these drills, try to maintain good posture. Stay relatively upright in your body, maintain your guard with your lead arm, and focus on letting the leg do the majority of the work. The beauty of these drills is you can always ramp them up by increasing the time. So if 30 seconds becomes too easy, you can put it up to 45 and even go as long as a minute. You can include ankle weights, but please don't go above 1 or 2 pounds worth of weight. Remember, the further you extend something out from your body, the heavier it becomes. So although it might feel like a lightweight when it's wrapped around your ankle, it will disrupt and affect your mechanics if you go any heavier. After a workout like this, you're going to feel extremely tight in your hips. A lot of blood is going to flow up into those areas. So I really recommend that you do a good stretching routine following and some foam rolling the following day for some myofascial release. As always, you can include a little workout like this at the end of your regular session. So once your legs are nice and warm and everything's moving well, it's a great time to get this work in and improve those lead leg kicks. Hopefully over a few weeks' time, you'll see an improvement in your technique and you'll find it a lot easier to throw your kicks. Kicks are far more draining than punches, so it's important that we work on strength and conditioning for them so that we don't fatigue in the fight when we try to use them. Guys, I hope this video has been helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button so more people can see the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. We've got new videos coming every week, and I will see you on the next one.